Hey guys, how's it going? Kripp here. Today I want to go over how to play Priest in Arena. Now, I played Priest recently and I want to show you guys some of those games so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But Priest is a very different class when it comes to Arena play because, well, it's just very difficult to start winning. More so than probably every other class in the game. But when you are winning, you are like the best class to maintain that position. So there's a lot of different things that you have to do playing Priest. You have to play and take a lot of risks in order to win. And I thought I'd go over that as, even though I haven't played that much Priest Arena myself, I do encounter quite a lot of Priests. And, from the other side of the table, I have a very good understanding about what plays don't work. Because, I do encounter all you Priests all the time. So Priest as an arena class is a pretty interesting one. It's just generally weak, but actually has a lot of good matchups. So the main bad matchups for Priest are, number one, Paladin. Paladin just kind of wrecks Priest. It used to wreck Priest in the past, but now it's a lot more than just that. It used to be the case where Paladin got on the board early through Divine Shields, through buffs, through weapons, and the Paladin just typically won the early game. But now with Keeper of Uldaman in the cycle and it being a common Paladin card, it makes it so Priest's win condition to just play one really big minion that your opponent can't deal with is no longer really definitively your win condition, because it is very common that your opponent as a Paladin would save the Keeper of Uldaman for the first big minion that you play. You'll get countered, and then you will lose. So that really sucks as a Priest against Paladin. When you're playing Arena, as a Priest, it's not really about who you're facing, it's generally about how many Paladins you're playing. Having board clears is super critical against Paladins, but you can't always expect those. You have a pretty bad matchup against Rogue, but this can vary based on the deck. If you have a lot of solid early game minions and you have board clears, because Rogues are usually going to be winning in the early game, but if you have a board clear, you can take that back and your big minions can count for a lot. So if you have board clears and they don't have multiple ways to deal with big minions, if your second big minion can stick and you're not dead at that point, you can usually win against Rogue. But in general, those things don't happen. On average, the Rogue will absolutely crush you. So it's kind of bad to go up against Rogue. It's kind of bad to go up against Shaman, but Shaman, it just feels like still a slightly worse version of Paladin. It's much more uncommon that the Shaman will have a weapon in the opener, which is kind of where things start going wrong tragically very quickly against Paladin. So yeah, if you can avoid those matches, you will do well. Priest does very well against really all the other classes. It can struggle against the Zulok, but that is not too common, even though the Zoo-style Warlock play in Arena is very common out of the Warlocks. There's just not that many Warlocks from what I've seen. People haven't really taken a grasp on the class, at least yet. So that's kind of helping Priest. But you have one very good matchup. Probably the worst matchup for a Mage is Priest. Now, this isn't universally the case. Mages that have a lot of single target removal actually do very well against Priest. But you guys know, spells are more uncommon these days. And of course, that even follows with Mage. So the typical Mage deck won't have that many removals. But if they do, they'll do well against Priest. But almost all of the times, in really every other case, Mage will do very poorly against Priest, as when the Priest gets the first big minion on the board, it just sticks. This is why Priest is strong. The Priest hero power is absolutely the worst one ever in the early stages of the game, and it's actually kind of the best one ever in the later stages of the game. Being able to maintain your big, your powerful, your high effect minions through your hero power gives you a huge advantage in the late game. So much so that you really should be drafting most of your Priest decks to have consistent early games. Now, as opposed to all other classes, your expectation is not to win the early game. That's almost impossible as a Priest. All the other classes have better early game cards than you, except for Dark Cultist. Dark Cultist is not considered the best Priest common by most people, but I think it is, in my opinion at least, because it is the one card that just drastically shifts the early game in the Priest's favor. The moment you're winning as a Priest is generally the moment where you have won. And that's not really the case with a lot of the other classes, especially if your opponent has like board clears and stuff. Priest minions with the heals and the fact that you can kind of buff them up in a lot of cases makes it so you are actually okay against most board clears. It's just really difficult to start winning to begin with. And that's where it becomes really important to get all these garbage 2 drops, all those junk 3 drops, even some 1 drops in there, just so not so you can win the early game, as I mentioned. That's not really going to happen. It's so you don't lose the early game very badly. So if you're down like 1 minion by turn 4, that's okay. That's generally what's going to happen in a fairly even, card quality early game situation against a typical opponent. So your plan as a priest is to not lose the early game too badly, kind of even out in the mid game, and then your late game, even though you'll probably have fewer late game cards than your opponent because you kind of need to scale your deck to not tragically lose the early game, your fewer but more potent late game cards, considering your hero power, should give you the win. It's all about stabilizing, and that can be a massive challenge. The problem with Priest is, 1, the consistency is very poor. 2, it can be very difficult to play Priest because you have to understand these concepts, and it's very tough to play from behind compared to playing from, a position where you're ahead. And really, the last thing is, it's not really that much fun to play Priest. The reason it's not much fun to play Priest is, even if you make all these correct decisions, if your opponent has like 2 hard removals, you're still going to lose. If you've done what you're expected to do, not lose the early game too badly, you've evened out in the late game, you play the first minion that will challenge your opponent to actually start losing on the board, which is basically how you instantly win as a priest, and then they have a hard removal. Usually you can take 1 hard removal as a priest. Not always, but if you've kind of been almost even, usually you can take 1. But if your first 2 big minions get hard removed, you have absolutely no chance. So it's not only that you have to go through all the normal like RNG elements and opening hand and all that kind of stuff as the other classes from a worse position, being a priest. You have to get to the late game in a position where you can actually maybe win, draw the cards that will allow you to do that, play them, and then you have another dice roll on top of where most other classes, most other arena games wouldn't have to deal with. So that's why priest struggles a lot. But on the other side, it can be very satisfying to play because the priest class is in pretty rough shape, and it does take a lot to win in most cases. So the wins are just, they count for a little bit more in terms of personal satisfaction. So there is some reason to play priest, and I know some people really love that aspect of the game. Today I want to show you guys a few clips from a recent arena run. The priest deck you guys are about to see is not a great one, but I think I played it exactly by the book, how you have to run things as a priest, and you guys can see how the win conditions are met. So check those out. Consider picking priest if you're a bit adventurous in arena. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to keep the Cabal, just because it's a ridiculous card. Ku-na-na-na-na. Yeah, nailed it. Gonna probably have to be pretty wasteful here.
Can I light your fire?
Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
The dam stand ready.
Watch him have like a 1 mana flame cannon here with a 3-drop. That'd be instant GG. Whoa. I take it back. It's a 0 mana flame cannon. Yeah, I don't think we can win this game anymore. Maybe if we get a board clear from his deck, maybe? Yeah, he's playing constructed cards and he has constructed answers against me, so it's not gonna happen. I got an Ogre Brute. Alright.
Let me change your mind.
Can Can do double 3-drop into Bog Creeper, which is pretty good. Holy crap, dude. Yes, that is a top deck. With that top deck, I can actually win. I mean, that was pretty lucky, but I'm not talking about luck in this game. The luck in this game has been ridiculous on his side in the early game.
I am not a morning person. Obey.
Let's see if he has hard removal. If he does, he's still going to win, I believe.
It's time for a lot of blood.
It's not too bad. I think the Entomb is good here. See, the heal is probably better than playing a card. The card that I play trades with the difference in healing, but it does it proactively rather than passively, so I think it's better. I have 9. Since I'm going to heal, this is like a 3 mana 4/5. Honestly, it's probably a good idea that I play that.
Just a pinch of powering up. Portals online.
That's a bad top deck for me. Oh boy. Another heal bot. That's a bad play. Should have attacked with everything else first.
A new recipe.
Depart, foul creature.
Yeah, I have to get as much tempo on the board as possible. This is how we do that. We lose to Flame Strike, we lose to a few things. Wow, he got Gorilla Bot, Heal Bot. Holy crap. This is gonna be tough to deal with, but it's not impossible. Value Silence. My god, dude. That's insane. Okay. Well. I've stabilized.
Right on time.
I taste blood.
Yeah, I was thinking about Smork, but no, that's a bad idea. He's playing mostly a tempo / aggro mage, so I'm probably gonna outdraw him. Oh boy. I think I have to play the value game.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's the value game. Sad game. Well, that's a top deck that I lost. And that's a top deck that I won.
Amazing.
Okay, that was good.
For the spider.
Wow, that was actually really good.
Welcome to the exhibit.
Yeah, I'm gonna heal a 6/6 there, so if he has Flame Strike, he has to at least trade, and then I'm 2 cards ahead. It's good. Oh man! Alright. This is rogue number 4. I don't think this deck is capable of getting 12 wins. I don't have enough tools in the deck. I'd have to get extraordinarily lucky. And I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, the Shadow Word Death top deck, I think, won me the game, more so than the Mind Control. But his opening hand was so completely out of this world that, like, again, perspective both ways. I have to play this so I don't lose to Fan of Knives, at least not super badly.
One day, I'll be a real knight.
That card's probably more annoying. I think we gotta go with that one. Damn. These are all pretty bad. I'm gonna go with the Worgen, because the Worgen is gonna have to die for sure. But maybe I don't want that. I kind of want that to stay alive, because I want to Cabal it. But I think the same things are gonna kill the Lights Champion. It's just the Lights Champion has a chance to be ignored. So maybe that is better. Backstab and a second Undercity. It's a pretty sick rogue deck so far, but we are doing okay.
Let me change your mind.
That Cabal, man. Dat Cabal. Gimme, gimme. Yeah, that's 6 mana, and I took 2/3 and got 2/3, so it's like I got a 4/6. So it's like I got a 8/11 worth of stats for 6 mana. Turns out the card is pretty good, guys. It doesn't quite work out that way with, you know, divided minions, but it's something. That's a pretty bad card. If he has Eviscerate, I'm not going to win this game.
Wanna blow something up?
Okay. That's fine. I have a secret weapon here. I have the heal, attack, fully heal. Doomsayer's not that great in Arena now. You generally have to win the game proactively, not reactively.
A new recipe.
Depart, foul creature!
Yeah, just gotta make the highest tempo plays available. The 5 for 4/5 and heal. OP, this one. You have to be marginally winning. That's potentially a pretty big problem. So, I don't know if it's really OP. It's good.
Begone!
Powering up. Portals online.
That's actually a misplay. I easily should have played the Murloc Tidehunter. That's a big misplay. I potentially gave him an extra turn in the game. Do you have Kraken as well? The last time I played that I got Kraken. Okay, that's fine.
Clobbering time! For the king!
A new recipe.
For honor!
Fine. Yeah, I'm at a card disadvantage, so I have to try to end the game now. That's bad for me. You can buy me Molten Giants to revive Holy Wrath Pally. I can play Holy Wrath Pally without Molten Giants too, you know. It's not mandatory. Light Spawn is bad if you're losing, and I imagine I'm going to be losing, so I don't have a 3, so I think coining is a bad idea. I think it's better to do 2 and then coin a 4 or a double 2 and then play the 4. If I had a 3, I think I would coin a 2-drop here, but I don't have that many 3s in my deck, so the chance to draw one is pretty low. Missed the elevator, watching Kripparian outside the Blizzard boardroom. Okay, one more game, then I'm really going. Well, thank you. Damn Blizzard bros. It's pretty important that we trade. We need to slow down the game as much as possible. Dude, I'm retweeting that. That's worth retweeting.
You're not that sharp.
Yeah, that's a problem. Alright, well, this is the way to go about it.
Echoes are eternal.
I think I'm okay with this. I can get heal value.
I taste blood.
It's not impossible to win this game. Like, it's about even on the board. Oh. It's actually impossible to win this game, damn it. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Welcome to the exhibit.
Pilot Sky Golem's not going to trade well into this board, so I think I'm just going to do the Cultist. The Cultist, again, slows the game down, which is generally how I'm going to have to try to win this game. It also makes it so he has to kill both minions, which again further slows the game down.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Alright. Damn, no juicy 2 health or less for me. I want to play Temple Enforcer with that next turn, so I'm forced to play this.
Let me change your mind.
It's because if I don't play this right now, I can't play it until turn 8, so that's very weak. A 2-1 is not worth much for me, but it's worth a lot for him, so it's not really that bad. This looks like a crappy play here. I mean, there's no way that was a good play. What?
For Blackwood.
Sure. Still a bad play, bro. Okay, well, I mean, I can't deal with that, so that's really bad. Okay, if I give that 3 health, it's still a 2-1, so it's still pretty bad. That'll be a 1-5. That's pretty good.
My wrath.
One day, I'll be a real knight.
So if my next draw is not Deathlord, Death, or Entomb, or Bog Creeper, I'm gonna lose the game. Bad play equals winning game. Well, I mean, that was textbook bad play. Just took 2 damage extra for no reason. Didn't really help him protect the board at all. No. Top deck 3 damage, exact lethal. Alright, well, that sucks, but honestly, 8 wins with this deck is fantastic. We did a good job. We played like 6 rogues and 3 paladins. I mean... we played 2 mages and 1 hunter. Those are the only good matches. So the rest was... Oh no, there was a shaman. So it was... Everything but 3 matches were bad matchups. So we played 8 bad matchups and it went 8-3. That's good, honestly. That's pretty good. Two epics.